Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be my first trimester recap. I wish I would have thought of this video before, because then I would have filmed it right after the first trimester, but I just thought of doing like semester recaps like 2 weeks ago. So I'm already almost done with the second trimester. So I figured we would sit down now and do the first trimester before we forget all the little details. So if you would like to see my experience and his experience through the first 12 weeks of this pregnancy, please keep watching. So I got on my phone and went through all my pictures so I can kind of put like a timeline for myself and for you guys or whatever, put together a timeline, and that way I can like show you guys some pictures and tell you how far along I was at that point in time or what I was doing at that point in time. So let's see. So like I said, we didn't find out I was pregnant until like 5 weeks, and I think if I remember right, the first time that we figured it out, it was on February 23rd. I actually had a agency shoot for digitals downtown LA, and then like the next day.
Yeah, so basically the next day, like what had happened is so the night before, so I had a dream that she was pregnant, just a random dream. I mean, I guess I probably already kind of thought it, so I don't want to like make it sound like I'm like a clairvoyant or anything, but like I had a dream that she was pregnant, so I woke up, and then the next day I went in the morning time, got a pregnancy test, and then I kind of woke her up with it, and I was like, here you go, why don't you take this? And I had a dream you were pregnant. And I think I just kind of already thought it because she was having like certain symptoms, like she was feeling kind of nauseous and feeling sick, and just said she didn't really feel right. And then too, like another thing, we never really kept track, or I never really did, of like her menstrual cycle and like all of that. And we hadn't, and I don't think that she had had it up to that point, or I think that she was a little bit later than usual, but we weren't really sure because we just haven't really kept track like that. So then the next day, so I woke her up with that, and then she took the pregnancy test, and then it came back that it was positive. So again, like I said in my last video, or the last video that we had, so with our story and everything that we have, I wasn't really expecting to have kids, which I explained in the last video, and I didn't know what to expect. So when she was actually doing the actual test, I just told myself again that if she's mad, then I'm just gonna be quiet, and if she's happy, then I'm gonna be happy. So she went to go take the test, and then it came back that it was positive. So
I was pissed. I think I told you guys that in the first one.
Yeah, we said that in the first one.
The pregnancy announcement.
She was super upset and mad.
It's like literally like the day before I just went and shot digitals and got my measurements taken for this fit modeling agency, and then the next day I was like, what? Yeah,
so then we kind of just went from there. So at that point in time, we think that she was 6 weeks long, 5-6 weeks long. And then she'll have a couple pictures for some of the things that we were going through then.
So now that we can put that timeline, so we figured out that I was pregnant on like February 24th, but before that I went to Vegas for my 32nd birthday on February 8th. I think it was like that weekend, and when I was there I felt so weird, but it didn't feel like pregnancy symptoms to me. So when I was there I just felt like really bloated, and like if I go back and look at some of my pictures that I took when I was there, like my stomach is like sticking out. So I was just like overly bloated. I didn't know if it was from like the alcohol or what, but it's like I wasn't really hungry, and I was just like ugh, and I would have only been like a couple weeks pregnant, if that, a week,
if that,
maybe like a week, if that, or whatever. So I thought something was weird why I was in Vegas, because I just overall felt just like bloated and just like, I don't know, just ugh the whole time we were there. So then after I spent the first couple of weeks being angry, I started like researching like different agencies, like different kind of like maternity agencies, and I did find a lady to represent me for maternity modeling. The only downside with her is I can't really work with her until I started showing, and I just started showing like really showing probably what, 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I'll be almost 7 months pregnant next week. So, and I just started really showing like 3 weeks ago. So I've had to kind of wait to like work with her. So I'm hoping that I'll have some pretty good opportunities with her. I was hoping that I would continue to be able to work with the fit modeling agency as well, but they did tell me from the beginning that for my size, which is an 8 to a 10, that they don't get a lot of requests for fit modeling for my size. So I've gone to a few castings like here and there for them, and then now I just like can't work with them, obviously, because I'm like showing too much. So now I'm putting all my eggs in the maternity modeling basket, and hopefully that works out. We'll see. So then when I finally got over the initial shock and me being angry about being pregnant, we made our first doctor's appointment, which I haven't even been to like a family doctor or anything, or any kind of doctor like that really, since Jaden, which is like my bad. Like I obviously should be on top of that, but we found a doctor and we went to her, and then I took a blood test, and I think that's it. I don't think I even took a UA.
Nice.
I think I went to the doctor, and then she sent me to a lab and I got blood work done, and then they never called with the results, but we already knew that I was pregnant, obviously, because we took pregnancy tests, but they never called us with the results. And then, what was it? We went back in, I think.
And we had our first appointment with the OBGYN.
No, we went back to the family doctor like a month later. And then she was like, oh, did you get your results? And I said, no, I didn't. She's like, oh, and then she goes, I don't have them either. So then we went back to the family doctor like a few weeks later, and then she's like, did you get your results? Did we call you? And we were like, no. And it was like a month later. So I've already been like almost...
like 12, 13
yeah,
weeks.
almost out of the first trimester. And we're like, no. And she's like, why nobody called you? And we're like, no, we called you guys and you guys didn't know. So then she had to call the lab, and then she was like, oh, well, you are. And we're like, well, yeah, I know, I figured that out.
But she didn't say it like that. Like, she did try to be a little bit, I guess, like, I don't know, like sensitive, mature situation. But okay, it was kind of irritating for me because she sits down, okay, and then she's like, well, so I don't know if you guys are aware, or just so you know, but it came back as positive. I'm like, yeah, we're way past that, way past that. I just need to know, you know, like, if you can just refer us to like a nurse practitioner or like whatever, like OBGYN, so we could go ahead and do that. Like, I need to get an ultrasound done. You're way behind the eight ball on that. So can we just speed this up? And
I think I would have been around 10 or 11. No, I think I was around 9 or 10 weeks at that point or whatever. And then apparently you can't go to an OBGYN unless you have a referral from your family doctor, which...
that's just from our health insurance. Yeah.
If that's our health insurance, that's a California thing. I don't know. I don't really remember having to do that with Jaden. I'm pretty sure with Jaden back in Kansas, we just found out I was pregnant and we called an OBGYN and I went. I don't think I needed a referral or anything like that, so I don't know if that's like something new or what. No. Oh, so then it took like a good month or two. No, it was like 2 months.
For what?
To go to the OBGYN.
No, it was a couple weeks later because... okay,
oh yeah, that's right. So it was like a good 2 or 3 weeks later that we actually got to go to the OBGYN. So by the time I had my first appointment with her, I guess I was already 14 weeks. So I'm going to talk more about that in the second trimester recap. So anyway, so we'll flash forward to Jaden's birthday. And we went to Dave & Buster's. And normally we would get drinks, which we didn't, and then we just went around and played games and stuff. But I wasn't really showing yet either, but I was sick. I think not the first month, like how I was telling you guys, the first month when I didn't really know I was pregnant yet, I just felt really bloated and just like, I felt like I was carrying like extra weight. And then like starting the second month or whatever, I didn't even want to leave the couch. Like I didn't puke, but I did come close a few times, but I didn't puke. And with Jaden, I puked all the time. I had morning sickness, morning, afternoon, and night. Like, I was always really dizzy. Like, and that was my entire pregnancy with Jaden. And then this one, I feel like I was just, like, really nauseous and tired and achy for what? Like, probably the second, third, and fourth month. And then I was
probably okay until, like, 3 days ago.
So, the second, third, and fourth month, I feel like I was like, not good, but definitely the second and third month, it was the worst for me. And we ended up getting, what was that?
So I went on the internet and I tried to kind of Google some stuff and see what I could find. And then I found this drink. I don't know if I'm saying this right, but I believe it's called Amitrol. And so I found this drink and I was just kind of curious to, like, if it would work. I was just trying to find things just to help her because she kept saying that she was sick. And I know how Brittany is, like, she's not going to go and take any medicine or find anything for herself. So I'm like, okay, like if she's gonna feel any better, then I have to go and do this. So I call our doctor and I'm like, hey, I found this drink. It's called Amitrol. It's supposed to help with morning sickness and things like that. Is that something that like we can take? And so we had a brief conversation. She kind of told me what it was. We talked about some of the instructions on how to take it. But essentially, if you don't already know, which I'm sure you probably do, it's just a drink that you can basically... It looks
like cough syrup.
Yeah, so it's like a cough syrup like type of consistency, but you drink it and you take like one little capful of it and you wait like 20 minutes. And if you don't feel... so if you don't feel like you need better, then you take another little capful, and then you basically just kind of repeat that whole process until you feel better. And then, so with her, it was like 1 or 2 capfuls later, and then she felt fine. So we found that drink, and then it was really...
Oh, and I also got Preggy Pops off of Amazon, which are little like candies that you can suck on. They taste just like candy. Like Jaden ate more of them than me, and I told him to do it, and he ate one, and he was like, "Ooh, there's something wrong with me. My throat's closing up. Are you sure I'm supposed to take these? Blee, blee, blee."
I felt like I was dying. Like I didn't want to take anything.
So I Googled it, and then everybody on this, like, there's tons of threads about these pregnancy pops or whatever, and everybody was like, "Yeah, my husband always eats all mine, and my husband always takes mine, and blah 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 blah." And then here you would think that he was dying or whatever because he ate one, and really it was just like, it's just like hard candy. But those really did help, but they only helped while you were like sucking on them. Like the second they were gone, you needed to put, like, I needed to put another one in, or I felt sick again. But they really helped. And other than that, Frank's big baby and he lies.
Whatever. I think I was having like the sympathy symptoms. Is that what it's called, right? Something like that. Well, whatever. And maybe I just wasn't paying attention to it until I ate one of them. But then I ate it, and then I started feeling weird. I felt like I had like tender breasts. Like I felt super weird, and just felt like it was affecting me in some kind of way. I started making it all up in my head, but whatever. This is the first time experiencing me, so whatever. Let me live.
So then on March 4th, I would have been, how many weeks? Almost 2 months, I think. So almost 2 months, or somewhere around 2 months pregnant or whatever, is when we went and we bought our first baby outfit from Target, and that's when we also told people.
Yeah.
So, well, not people, I mean, like, we told my aunt and we told his parents on March 4th, and then on March 15th I had a photo shoot, and I went, and I wasn't going to tell her, but I ended up telling her anyway. So it was just weird to look at, I guess, like, sexy, risque pictures of myself when I was like 2 months pregnant. You can't tell, but like, that was interesting. So there's not really a whole lot to say about the first trimester, other than that I was like nauseous and achy and tired for after the first month, second and third month or whatever. But what?
Yeah, but I would just say though that just a large portion of the first trimester, the reason why there's just not much to say is just because we really didn't know. Like, we did, but we didn't. And it wasn't until a little bit later. And
it went by really fast.
And I think a part of that was probably because of our family doctor, how she was kind of spacey and didn't really get back to us. So, I mean, that wasn't a really good experience.
Yeah, so we're out of the blue a lot.
So yeah, so we just really just didn't know, and we were just kind of just like going with the flow. And then when we would call, like, whoever wouldn't have their information and they wouldn't have their information, and they basically told us to like call back and do this, that, and the other, and it was just really unorganized. So it, and then too, she wasn't showing, so it didn't really feel real. It didn't really seem like it was happening. It just kind of went by so quick, and like the whole time, like, I did tell my immediate family, and they were aware of it, and then they kind of knew, but like, you don't like really want to tell a whole lot of people because you never know what could happen, especially in the first trimester. So it just really kind of flew by, and it was just kind of here and gone before we knew it. And then so just like a little bit like for the future, like, we didn't really like feel like it didn't really feel real until we had our first appointment, and then like we'll explain that later on.
But it didn't even feel real then until like a month ago. And
well, the first appointment with the OBGYN is like when it felt real.
And then when we do the second semester recap, we'll start off that with that appointment, because I had my first real appointment at 14 weeks. And then I guess towards the end of the first trimester, April came out here for her birthday, and we kind of like ran amok around Santa Monica. We went to Lisa Vanderpump's restaurant called Pump. The only thing that sucked about that is, like, I don't really drink with food anyways. Like, I'm more of like a nighttime drinker, and if I'm gonna drink, I'm gonna like get drunk, if I'm just being honest. So it was weird going and running around with like April and like a couple of her other friends, and we went to brunch and stuff, and then like I really wanted to like drink with them and I couldn't, so that kind of sucked. But like normally, I think it's just because I knew I couldn't is what made it worse. But other than that, like I was still able to like keep up with them like the whole time when we were like running around all over the place. We spent like, April and I spent a whole entire day shopping all over LA, and I was perfectly fine. But I did have those Preggy Pops, so those really helped a lot. I didn't have to take that cough syrup looking stuff or anything. And then yeah, other than that, like especially the first trimester too, all the way up to this point, really, like my appetite kind of like comes and goes. Like I feel like some days I'm like eating all day, and then other days I don't really want to eat anything. And definitely in the first trimester, I don't feel like I was like, it's almost like my stomach shrank and I wasn't really that hungry all the time, but I was really thirsty. But I did want mac and cheese all the time.
Yeah, so she went through a phase where pretty much all she wanted to eat was just mac and cheese
and mashed potatoes.
That was it.
Starch is food.
Yeah.
Starchy food.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's like all she wanted to eat. And then and she went through that for like a good minute.
Like
and then
the whole trimester. So all I've wanted the first trimester was pasta and bread for the most part. Not really any sweets. Chips, but like I prefer salty stuff over sweets anyways for the most part or whatever. But yeah, I wanted mainly like starchy, salty stuff the entire first trimester, not really any sugar. But I did crave a lot of fruit, which is weird because before I was pregnant, all I would eat was like vegetable. Like I like the vegetables, like the veggie trays with like the ranch and stuff. And I can't even tell you the last time I ate fruit before I was pregnant. And then like that whole first trimester, all I wanted to do was like eat fruit. So I thought that was weird. And then I haven't wanted to eat like any vegetables. Like just the thought of them grossed me out. And we went vegan like a couple of times the past like few years or whatever. I don't really like meat in general. Like I'll eat it, but like if I have a choice, I'm not going to eat it or whatever. And definitely through this pregnancy, that is the last thing that I have wanted to eat. Like the closest thing to meat that I wanted, I went through like I went through an In-N-Out phase the first trimester where I had to have like a double and the animal fries. So that kind of meat was okay, but like a piece of chicken or a piece of steak, like no, I don't want any of that. Or I can do chicken nuggets, but if I have a choice, then I don't want any meat. But yeah, I forgot I wanted In-N-Out like no other.
Yeah.
In-N-Out. What else? In-N-Out, mac and cheese. Wasn't there something else? We ate a lot of rice the first trimester. Like I'm telling you, anything that was like starchy pasta was like everything I wanted. What else? Then I ordered these gummy prenatal pills off of Amazon. They were okay. I took those until I had my first appointment, and then she gave me a prescription for like actual prenatal pills. But I didn't really notice any hair growth or nail growth or anything until like the second trimester. I was still wearing my regular clothes. Again, like I said, I didn't really start showing until... I really didn't start showing in clothes until I was like 5 months pregnant.
Yeah, and I mean, and that was even kind of a stretch. I mean, she really didn't really look pregnant until probably like 2-3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And it was just like overnight. It was like she just like woke up and it was like all of a sudden just boom, like she had a belly. So yeah, I mean, it's just been kind of weird with her. It's like her body, I still didn't even feel like she was pregnant pretty much all the way up until a couple weeks ago, and we've been to several appointments since then and have done like several things, and you know, like we've been able to feel the baby move for quite a while now. So, and it's just, you know, like she wasn't like really showing, so really like all of it didn't really feel real. I mean, I still had a ton of emotion about it, especially from the very beginning, because I'm a sensitive, emotional person, but yeah, for the most part, it's just gone by really quick.
So I'm pretty sure that's everything from our first trimester experience. As for Jaden, like, we haven't brought him to any, well, he's been to the doctor's appointments, but you're only allowed to have one person in the back for the ultrasound, which is like whatever. But we decided that the first time that he gets to see the baby on a sonogram, we're gonna do the 4D HD thing or whatever at 30 weeks. So he hasn't seen it yet. He has seen the pictures that we get printed, but he hasn't seen it yet. So that, what else? And other than that, he hasn't really, the first trimester, he didn't really like believe it. He's kind of like, I'll believe it when I see it type of thing. And yeah, I think that's it. If I remember anything else from the first trimester that either one of us left out, then I'll make sure I put in, like, you know, a paragraph here and there talking about whatever I forgot about. If not, I'll put something in the description box. But so thank you guys so much for watching my first trimester recap, and I will see you guys in my next video and definitely my second semester recap as well. Bye. Say bye.
Bye.